Hello, we are the channel, Vamos para Portugal. We have prepared a series of step-by-step videos on how a Brazilian retiree can immigrate legally, and without hassle, to Portugal. We arrived in Portugal in July 2023 for a 2-month period of prospecting and on-site evaluation of the regions and cities discussed in our previous videos, where we identified the best regions for housing in Portugal. We recommend that you check out the content on our channel to better understand our selection and evaluation criteria. Our focus in these 2 months was experiencing the day-to-day life of living in a Portuguese city, with a European life experience, but also taking the opportunity to have an occasional tourist experience. In previous videos, we commented on our arrival for a month stay in the city of Porto, before heading for another month in Lisbon, dedicating our first week to settling in the city and sightseeing without commitment. In the remaining weeks, we began to dedicate part of our stay to getting to know Porto's neighborhoods and some of the cities identified previously, whether by subway, train and bus, or even renting a car for longer and more time-consuming trips. For this stay, we made a reservation on Airbnb, still in Brazil, for a 1-bedroom apartment on Rua de Alexandre Herculano, located very close to the historic center, which allowed us easy access to tourist attractions and metro stations. As a reference, we were an 11-minute walk from Mercado do Bolheio and its metro station and 13 minutes from the Dom Luisi Bridge. Each city has its own unique characteristics, and choosing the best location will depend on your personal preferences, your budget, and your other needs. We recommend that you personally visit the cities you selected before making a decision. This way you can be sure which ones meet your expectations. Consider issues such as distance from the capital, transport infrastructure, access to supermarkets and services, location of health centers, cost of living, and especially rental costs. In the last 2 years, rents, or rendas, as they are called in Portugal, have shown a significant evolution in the amounts charged and are currently the expenses with the greatest impact on the personal budget of residents in Portugal. We report below the cities we visited in the Porto district, remembering that our evaluations consider the needs of a retired couple of middle to old age. We were in Vila Nova de Gaia several times in August, as this city is its neighbor and overlaps with Porto, being on the other side of the Douro River, with 7 bridges crossing, the Dom Luís Bridge being the most charming and visited first. Vila Nova de Gaia is the center of the port wine industry, and is full of cellars and cellars from the best wineries in the Douro, which offer tours and tastings, especially at Cais de Gaia, where you have the most beautiful view of Porto. It is also known for its beaches, such as Praia de Madalena. Compared to Porto, Gaia is a more modern city, with recent buildings, large avenues, and several shopping malls. Among the shopping centers, we highlight El Corte Inglés for its variety and sophistication, and Shopping Arabada, which has a citizen store, 20 cinemas, and also has a private hospital attached. Gaia is the 3rd most populous municipality in the country, with more than 300,000 inhabitants, behind only Lisboa and Sintra, and with an area of 168 square kilometers. However, it is important to highlight that as it is a large city in size, Gaia has different areas with their advantages and disadvantages. The coastal region is a highly valued area, but with few public transport options, while the region close to Douro is currently served by a metro line, the Yellow Line, and with another line in the project expected to be implemented by 2026, which will be called the Ruby Line. A new bridge will be built for this new line. According to our personal parameters, we arrived at this assessment of Vila Nova de Gaia. Distance from Porto, Gaia is located on the opposite bank of the Douro River and connected by several bridges and the metro. Good bus and metro connections to Porto. The cost of living is moderate. Furnished T1 rental cost from 800 to 1,200 euros. The main points of interest are port wine cellars, Madalena and Valadares beaches, Shopping Arabada with its cinemas, and El Corte Inglés. We made a quick visit to Póvoa de Varzim, a resort located north of Porto, but still considered to be within its metropolitan region. Its access is practical as it is the end point of the Red Metro line. The journey leaving Trindade station, in the center of Porto, takes 55 minutes. Póvoa de Varzim has 64,000 inhabitants, is one of the few legal gambling areas in Portugal, and also has significant textile and food industries. The city maintains its own cultural identity, a rich fishing cuisine, and ancient traditions. It is also always remembered by Eca de Queiroz, one of the main writers of the Portuguese language, born there in Praça do Almada in 1845. On the day of our visit in early August, the day was sunny, but a strong cold wind dropped the temperature to levels that we considered too low for us. Starting near the Fortaleza de Nossa Senhora de Conceição and the Casino de Póvoa, we walked along Avenida dos Banhos along the seafront with the sequence of beaches of Liceo, Carvalhito and Salgueira and a brief tour of the commercial area of Avenida Muzinho de Albuquerque. This is our personal assessment of Vila Nova de Gaia. The distance from Porto is about 30 kilometers north. Access to the Porto Metro Red Line. The cost of living is moderate. Furnished T1 rental cost from 750 to 1,200 euros. The points of interest are Redonda Beach, Póvoa Casino, Historic Center. We were in Braga in the first half of August where we traveled using Flixbus services. The road trip from the Campania terminal to Braga lasted 45 minutes. Braga is a city with 196,000 inhabitants located in the extreme north of Portugal and northeast of Porto. The history of Braga dates back to 2,000 years ago and began in the Roman Empire, when it was founded between the years 15 and 13 BC, and named Bracara Augusta in honor of the Roman Emperor Augustus and the indigenous Bracari people. We tour the historic center and highlight the Braga Cathedral, medieval in style and with a museum of sacred art, Praça da República with its fountain and immense colorful gardens and Jardim de Santa Bárbara. In our evaluation of Braga we considered. The distance from Porto is about 50 kilometers northeast of Porto. Access by road buses and trains. The cost of living is moderate. Furnished T1 rental cost from 650 to 900 euros. The main points of interest are Braga Cathedral, Bom Jesus do Monte, Guimarães Castle. In mid-August we were in Matosinhos, a city next to Porto with 172,000 inhabitants and accessible via the Blue Metro line. The journey leaving Trindade station, in the center of Porto, lasts 32 minutes and covers the entire Old Port area. In Matosinhos we visited the region of the Church of Senhor Bom Jesus and Praia de Matosinhos. In the city we have Mar Shopping which has an IKEA store and Parque da Cidade, considered the largest urban park in the country, and which was open to the public in 2002. Our assessment of Matosinhos. Located next to Porto. Easy access by car, bus and metro. The cost of living are moderate. Furnished T1 rental cost from 800 to 1,200 euros. The main points of interest are Matosinhos Beach, Porto City Park, Matosinhos Municipal Market. These were the cities we selected to visit and evaluate, always according to our very particular criteria, aiming to provide housing for a middle to elderly retired couple in the Porto region. We hope our observations have been useful in helping you explore the options available in the Porto district. We ask that you subscribe to our channel and leave a like. This will greatly help us in disseminating more information and tips about the immigration process for a retiree to Portugal. So what? Are we going to Portugal? We already went in 2023, and we will definitely return in 2024.